He's sitting across from a lawyer, pen in hand, about to sign away $200,000 he doesn't have. The lawyer slides the settlement papers forward and says, "Take your time." He doesn't need time. He's had 12 years to think about how he got here. It started with $4, a subscription he forgot to cancel, a charge that hit his account on a Tuesday morning when his balance was $6.12. The bank didn't see a forgotten subscription. The bank saw an overdraft, and it charged him $35 for the privilege of being $4 short. He was 24. He worked at a hardware store. He remembers staring at his phone in the parking lot before his shift, feeling something that wasn't quite anger, more like the floor tilting slightly under something that used to feel stable. He didn't have $35 either, so the bank charged him again. Within a week, he owed $109 to a bank for a $4 mistake. He thinks now that this is the moment everyone points to, the beginning of the spiral. He used to think that too. Here's the part he didn't expect anyone to believe. The $4 wasn't the real story. 3 weeks after the overdraft, he was in a car accident that wasn't his fault. Totaled car, a shoulder injury that needed surgery, and an insurance company that took 4 months to pay out a claim that should have taken 4 weeks. During those 4 months, his overdraft turned into a maxed-out credit card, which turned into a second card, which turned into a payday loan he swore he'd pay back the next paycheck. He didn't lose control because he was careless. He lost control because a $4 mistake happened to land in the exact week his life had no room left to absorb a shock. That's the twist nobody puts in the headline. It's never just the $4. It's the $4 plus the timing, plus the thing that was already one push away from tipping over. By 27, he owed $34,000 across 4 accounts. He got a second job at a call center on weekends. He tells people now that the hardest part wasn't the work. It was the math he did every single Sunday night, moving numbers between accounts like a man rearranging furniture in a room that was already too small. Here's where most videos like this tell you he hit rock bottom and gave up. He didn't. At 28, something happened that he still can't fully explain, even to himself. A customer at the call center, an older man calling about a billing dispute, spent 40 minutes on the phone with him, not about the bill, but about debt itself. The man had been a debt collector for 20 years before switching sides and becoming a credit counselor. He told him one sentence that stuck. "The banks don't want your money back. They want your minimum payment forever. Those are 2 completely different businesses." That sentence changed how he saw every bill in his name. He stopped treating the debt like a wall he had to survive and started treating it like a system he had to study. He called every single creditor, one by one, and negotiated. Not aggressively. He just asked every time, "What can you actually do for me if I pay this off early?" Most said no. 2 said yes. One card agreed to settle a $9,000 balance for $5,400 if he paid it in one lump sum within 90 days. He didn't have $5,400. So he did something that felt insane at the time. He sold his car, the one he'd bought used after the accident, and rode a bike to his day job for 7 months. People at work joked about it. He let them. The $5,400 wiped out the card. The math finally, for the first time in 4 years, moved in a direction he chose instead of one that happened to him. By 31, he was down to $19,000 in debt, mostly the original car accident medical bills that had ballooned with interest from a hospital billing company that never should have been allowed to charge what it charged. He hired a medical billing advocate, a service he didn't know existed until the credit counselor mentioned it in a follow-up call 2 years after their first conversation. The advocate found a billing error worth $6,000. Just found it, sitting there, in a bill nobody had ever actually read line by line. Here's the second twist, the one that actually explains the headline. The lawsuit he's signing today isn't about debt he owes. It's the opposite. He's suing the original hospital billing company for the interest they illegally compounded on an error they admitted to in writing. His lawyer thinks the settlement will land somewhere around $200,000 once punitive damages are factored in, because the billing company did this to thousands of people, not just him, and a class action is forming behind his case. The $4 mistake that started this story isn't the $4 mistake that ends it. The ending is a $200,000 settlement, built entirely on 12 years of refusing to stop looking at the numbers, even when looking at them felt like the worst part of every single day. He signs the papers. The lawyer shakes his hand. He walks outside and doesn't feel triumphant. He feels something quieter, the specific exhaustion of a fight that's finally, actually over. He thinks about the version of himself in that parking lot at 24, staring at a $35 overdraft fee like it was the end of something. It wasn't the end. It wasn't even really the beginning. The beginning was smaller than that. It was the moment, years later, when a stranger on a billing dispute call told him the truth about how the system actually works, and he believed him enough to change how he fought. Somewhere right now, someone is staring at a $4 charge they forgot about, feeling the floor tilt slightly under them. They think this is a story about carelessness. It's not. It's a story about timing, and about whether anyone ever tells them the one sentence that changes how they see the whole fight.